Good morning. Welcome to BMW. My name's Owen, and what brought you into our showroom today?
Well, I'm interested in the iX40. Can I take a look?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great choice, by the way. And what's attracted you to the iX?
Well, it's a beautiful looking car. It's probably the best EV on the market, isn't it, at the moment? It's got a great range. I mean, 630 kilometres is amazing for a car this sporty.
Yeah, it really is. I couldn't agree more. How should I address you, by the way?
Kevin?
Kevin?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Yeah.
And Kevin, it sounds like you've been doing your research. Where are you getting your data from?
Online, and I read car magazines as well.
Okay, great. And you mentioned the range, 630 kilometres. You probably know range is quite variable from driver to driver, car to car. So we can take a much closer look at those details, make sure this car really suits what you're going to be doing. So just tell me, Kevin, a little bit about what happens when you're driving. What are your regular daily driving needs?
Okay. Well, I work from home half the time, and the rest of the time I'll be driving to visit clients or driving the kids around. We go to the beach quite a lot, so range is quite important to us because there's no charging at the beach parking areas. So.
Great. And you mentioned charging. What's your plan for charging?
Probably at home from a wall box. I mean, it takes 2 hours to charge fully, doesn't it? So that shouldn't be a problem for me.
All right, got it. That sounds like a great plan, and you're right about the design. It's a beautiful car, and I think you're going to really enjoy having the iX in your life, especially with those journeys that you just described. There's two models, the iX xDrive 40 and this one, the iX xDrive 50. And thinking about range, this one has the biggest range. It's got a larger battery, and the range is up to 630 kilometers, which you mentioned earlier. So that's for the iX xDrive 50, this one we've got right here. Tell me, how important is it for you that you get that potential range of up to 630?
Oh yeah, very. I want as much range as I can get, yeah.
Well, in that case, I would strongly recommend we look closer at the iX xDrive 50 with its much larger battery. That's the one that's going to be able to offer you that range you mentioned of up to 630 kilometers.
So you're saying that the iX40 can't do that range?
That's correct, Kevin, yeah. The iX40 has got a physically smaller battery, and so although that might be slightly quicker to fill up, it actually doesn't carry as much range, a maximum of 425 kilometers with that model.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to charging, you're right about charging at home. This is going to be a really good solution for you, I think. Charging at home for the iX50 is going to take, with a wall box, up to 14 hours. So I think that's possible overnight. You know, you get home from work and plug it in straight away. By the time you get up the next morning, you'll have a fully charged battery. But we can take a closer look at that in more detail a little bit later on. And we can also take a test drive as well. How does that sound?
Test drive sounds great, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Earlier on you mentioned 2 hours for charging. That's more like public charging time. Do you know when you pull up at one of these public charging stations, they've got the super fast chargers, that's when you could get a 2-hour charging time for the iX.
Okay.
So what do you think about those sort of charging times?
Yeah, it's a bit slower than I was expecting, but I guess as long as I get a full battery in every morning, that shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Okay.
Well, we could look at it from a slightly different perspective. How often do you think you would empty that battery if it were to be giving you up to 630 kilometers?
Well, I guess on a busy day, I'm doing up to 150 kilometers maybe. So if I really think about it, what's that like? That's almost 4 days to a full battery. So that should be fine, absolutely, yeah.
All right, so that range could work for you, and those charging times could work for you as well.
Yeah.
You might not be charging from an empty battery every evening, just topping up what you've used that day.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.